I promise you. Oh, I wanna be the one to hold you close, 'cause you're the only one I'm dreaming of. My love, my love, my love, my love, my love. Tell me, do you feel the way I do? 'Cause I only wanna ride with you. My love, my love, my love, I wanna ride with you. Yeah. My love, my love, my love, I wanna ride with you. Yeah, yeah. My love, my love, my love, I wanna ride with you. Yeah, yeah. My love, my love, my love, I wanna ride with you. I wanna ride with you, baby. My love, my love, my love, my love. The way you're moving me, I've been thinking about you day and night. I can't get enough. Oh, nah. I can't lie. I love the way you're messing with my mind. I can't get enough of my sweet Madeline. You're the reason why I'm waking up smiling. Oh, my sweet Madeline. Your name is written all over my heart. I can't stop. Yeah. I wanna be the one to hold you close, 'cause you're the only one I'm dreaming of. My love, my love, my love, my love, my love. Tell me, do you feel the way I do? 'Cause I only wanna ride with you. My love, my love, my love, I wanna ride with you. My love, my love, my love, I wanna ride with you. Yeah. My love, my love, my love. The things you do to me, I can't escape it. The air that I breathe even speaks of you. Yeah. Oh, I can't lie. I love the way you're messing with my mind. I can't get enough of my sweet Madeline. You're the reason why I'm waking up smiling. Oh, my sweet Madeline. Your name is written all over my heart. No, I can't stop. So I'm not giving you up. No, I give you all that I got. Oh, I confess with each beat of my heart. Oh, I'll be true. So I'm not giving you up. No, I'll give you all that I got. Oh, I confess with each beat of my heart. Oh, I promise you. Oh, I wanna be the one to hold you close, 'cause you're the only one I'm dreaming of.
Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction becomes the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but just keep moving forward. If this is your first time doing yoga, good on you. If it's your 10,000th time, approach it with new vigor and just be glad that you can be here. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga, and this is your yoga from home. This is where you do your yoga at your pace, your way, the poses the way you want them to be, whatever feels good for you. The biggest thing is just do what's right for your body. If something hurts, don't do it. back out of it. You don't want to hurt yourself. No prizes for doing a pose that isn't right for you. We're all built differently. So honor that and just let the yoga feel good. Okay, nothing complex today, nothing fancy. We're just going to ease into this busy week. I'm sure your week's pretty busy. Ease into this week with some nice yoga poses, but just don't hurt yourself. Here's a word to think about. Maybe you're doing a lot of this week. Party. What's a party? A party can be looked at as a gathering for friendly, good things. That's what this is. A gathering virtually from the privacy of your own home. We're getting together to do our yoga, and that is important. All right, props you might want for today. I love the eye shade. I love the little towel. Have those. Yoga blocks. You can get those online. You can get them at any store. I mean, just buy them. They're really comfortable. They're really nice because they're kind of squishy, but they're firm. Get some yoga blocks. Maybe even a half-size yoga block is nice to add to your toy chest. Some water to drink. Maybe you might want a strap today to do your yoga. Our focus today, Mondays, is mobility and flexibility. Every day of the week, we're different. Come back, check us out. We practice live. No cuts, no nothing, just like being in a real class. I hope you take it that way. I hope you come back every day because you can do every single practice. I promise you that. All you got to do is modify. All right. Here's the deal. Let's start with a stress number. This is one thing we do every day, if I remember. Lock in a stress number on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, as we come on up to a standing position. All right, stress number. Just don't overthink it. What is going on in your body today? Lock that number in, and let's start our yoga. Okay, here's where we're going to begin. Lift your arms high up to the sky. Take an extended mountain pose. Lengthen up. Yeah, get back in there. All right, lengthen up. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Let it go. Let your arms come down. Exhale. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, arms come down. And make it audible. Make it big. Sigh it out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let it go. And you know, how big are these arm movements? You decide. Maybe you put a little bend in your elbow. Maybe that feels better. But make it work for you. Arms come up, arms come down as you exhale. Let's add in the feet. Come on up onto your toes as you lengthen up. Exhale, sigh it out. Come on down to all your solid flat foot. Lift on up onto the balls of your feet. Come on down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Just get into this a little bit. Maybe pop up higher or onto the balls of your feet and then come on down. So strengthen your foundation, your feet, your toes. Come on up and down. Maybe you have a chair nearby and your fingers are on it. It's all good. Up and down. One more up. Lift up high on your toes. And then come on down, arms by your side. Put the weight into your heels and lift your toes on up and give them a wiggle. Maybe put your hands on your hips. Finish up, come on down. So you are down on your flat foot. Lift your arms high up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, palm tree pose. Palms go up to the sky. Maybe a bend in your elbows. You decide as you start to sway from side to side. Wake up your spine with this lateral movement. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe. Maybe push through your fingers, through your palm even more when you go side to side. All right, let's finish up. Hands to your low back. Hands to your low back. Press your hands into your low back. Squeeze your elbows back towards your spine. That feels pretty good, I hope. I think it does for me. Breathe. Big breath in. Big breath out. Look up, up, up to the sky. Take a little back bend. Don't overstress it here. Think of your chest lifting up to the sky. Breathe. Soften in your glutes. You got this. You're firmly rooted into your feet. Exhale. Hinge forward. As you hinge forward, let the crown of your head come toward the earth. Arms hang heavy. Maybe look back to your knees or your navel. Find length in your spine, length in your back. You got it. Put a little bend in your knees. Maybe that feels nice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, arms sweep on up, extended mountain arms, breathe. Let's go back into the shoulders and do some more arm circles in a different way. Let's circle our arms toward the back of the room. Fingers reach, 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 really long, trying to create super long arms. Circles to the back of the room. Add in your knees if you like. Bend the knees and then straighten them. So important to get those knees moving. Motion is lotion. Isn't that the truth? The more you move, the better you feel. So move. Maybe the movements are little, maybe the movements are big, but just do what's right for you. Arm circles in the opposite direction. Take your circles toward the front of the room. Breathe. How do your shoulders feel? How do your knees feel? Knees feel better, I promise. If you bend them, they're going to feel better. Breathe. Finish up. Come on up to a standing position. Let your arms hang heavy down by your sides. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Let your fingers hang heavy and start to sway from side to side as you do that pose that we call big coat swing. So shoulders are loose. You're not holding on to any tension there. Arms are heavy. You're touching your backside, then your hip. How's that? All right, that's pretty fun. Try that pose. Breathe. Keep looking over your shoulder. You know, use today every day to make yourself just satisfied with what you have been given. Really, really appreciate what you got. All right, nice controlled twist. Let's finish up in this big coat swing. Let's do ragdoll. This one feels so nice. Hinge forward, feet are hip width distance apart, hands to opposite elbow creases, and let the crown of your head hang toward the earth. A little bend in your knees might feel nice. Big breath in, big breath out. Start to sway your elbows, bringing one back toward one knee, then the other back toward the other knee. Let this feel good and take some breaths. Decompress your low back. Where's your gaze? Try to take it more toward your navel. Maybe increase the sway, bringing the elbow back even more toward your knee. And then finish up at the midline of your body. Release your fingers to your mat. Come on down and let's take child's pose. Beauty of child's pose is that you can modify it in so many ways. And you just kind of let go. This is your coming to the mat. You warmed up your body, you moved it, so it knows movement's coming. Now let's just still our minds. Knees together, big toes touching. This is a classic child's pose in the legs. Maybe you like this. Maybe you'd like to introduce a block here. Arms can be down by your sides, forehead or chest come to meet the block if you like. Arms are long, down by your sides, palms face up, breathe. Classic child's pose. You can do it without the block, but try to avoid rolling your head under. Let the forehead come to the earth. So this is maybe the standard size block might be too much to come all the way down. Maybe a half block, which is half this size, is just right. You decide what you want to use. Classic child's pose is a great pose to stay in, or you can take it to your extended child's pose. The difference here is your knees are spread wide, big toes still touch, your hips still go back to your heels. You can still use the block under the forehead or the chest, or no block at all, and you reach your arms to the top of your mat. Soften in your jaws. Reach through your fingers and press your hands into your mat. Fingers are spread wide. Send your bottom to the back of the room. Big breath in. Big sighing breath out. Let it go. Engage Ujjayi pranayama breath if you want to. It helps you focus inward, which is a good place to focus. You would close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose if you want to do this. Deep breaths. In and out. Lengthen through your spine, tailbone, and crown of the head going in opposite directions. Child's pose. Come back to it anytime you like. Lengthen through your spine. Let it do its magic in your body. Stay here as long as you like, or come back to it if you want to also. I'm going to come out of this child's pose, and I'm going to do toes pose. All right, so for today's toes pose, you come onto your knees. Maybe you take a block, tuck your toes towards your shins, place the block behind your heels, and have a seat. Bring your shoulders back, perhaps a little bit more. You adjust to what feels right in your feet. This is an intense pose. Don't feel pain. Let it be. Hands can rest on your thighs. Hands can be at prayer center with soft shoulders. Or I'm going to bring my arms behind my back today, elbows bent. I'm going to reach for opposite elbow creases. I'm going to lift through my chest, sending my shoulders to the back wall and down. I'm going to lengthen through my neck and the crown of my head. You do what's right for you. And just breathe here. Feel what you feel in your toes. Feel the nice big stretch and the breaking up of the fascia in the feet to allow you to be more flexible, more mobile. Big breath in and big breath out. All right, so I'm going to tell you, today we are going to do a plank. We do a plank just about in every practice, except for our restorative days. You got to check those out too. Usually I set a timer for plank. I'm not going to set the timer today, but I'll kind of let you know as the time elapses. But I'm going to read you a little something about planking. And planking is so important, so good for us, and you're going to like it. All right, take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, soften in your feet. Mind is off your feet, it kind of helps. Breathe. Let's come out of this. Bring your arms around back to the front to a natural position. Maybe just kind of wiggle your fingers like you're playing a Christmas carol on your piano or whatever. All right, let's come on out of this pose. Bring the block forward, lift your toes on up from a neutral tabletop. Squeeze and scrunch the toes, circle the ankles, tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. Using 2 blocks or no blocks at all, sit back on the tops of your feet. So this is your ankle pose, the counter pose to your toes pose. Maybe the blocks are by your side and you push into the blocks, thinking of pushing, bringing the ground up to you and just pushing in there and getting some leverage so you can pop your knees up and balance on the tops of your feet. How does this feel? Sometimes we flow through this, going toes pose, ankle pose, back and forth. Let's just kind of shake it up a little bit, surprise our bodies. We held toes pose for a while. Let's hold this ankle pose for a little bit. You can keep your hands on your blocks. You can bring your hands to prayer center. You could use your hands on your mat. And just breathe. Feel the goodness of this stretch in your ankles. How often do you stretch your foot in this direction? Not very often, but it's so good for us. So good for us to take that full range of motion in our bodies. All right, let's come out of it. Neutral tabletop. Same thing we did earlier. Lift your toes up, squeeze them and scrunch them, circle the ankles in both directions, and tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. There's your toes pose and your ankle pose. Let's do cat-cow. All right, from a neutral tabletop, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Lengthen through your spine, tailbone and crown of the head in opposite directions. Push hard into the earth, not only with your hands, but with the tops of your feet. Exhale, cat pose. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. Do it a little farther. Inhale, cow pose, just the opposite. Lift your tailbone and the crown of your head up to the sky. That's it. Do your cat-cow a few more times to your pace of breath. Exhale, cat. Hollow out your belly. Push into the earth. Inhale, cow. Keep pushing into the earth and let the tailbone and crown of the head lift. Cat-cow a couple times. Your way. Get that movement going in the spine. So important. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And then finish. Come to a neutral tabletop. Bird dog, a balancing pose. Lift your right knee up, up, up. Lift your right knee up to about hip height. Press into both hands equally. The tendency here is to put more weight into the left side. Both hands pressed equally. Knee at hip height. Extend the right leg long, driving the heel to the back of the room. Tightness in the low back. Don't you feel it as you strengthen? All right, if you want, make this more of a balancing pose. You can take a block to the top of the mat and reach your left arm long. You can put your hand on the block if that feels better. Or reach through your fingers. Fingers spread wide, thumb up to the sky. Push into the earth. Breathe. This is your bird dog pose. Hold it here for a few seconds. You got it. And if you'd like, you can start to tuck your elbow to your knee under your navel and then reach. Same thing, repeat if you like, or just continue reaching, reaching, reaching. That nice static isometric hold is wonderful too. Let's finish up. Hand and knee come down. Other side, let's do it. This gets my heart racing. This is a good pose. Press into the earth. Press into the tops of your feet. Lift your left knee up. Extend your left leg long. Dial the left hip down so both hips are equal distant to your mat. Right arm reaches for either the block or just reaches in front of you. Spread your fingers, thumb up to the sky. Stretch, lengthen, you got it. Stay here if you want. Or elbow to knee. Maybe once. Maybe bring it kinda, sorta in the direction of the knee. It's all good. Little steps will get you where you need to be, right? Reach. And when you're ready, it's probably time to finish up on this side. Right hand comes down, left knee comes down. That's your bird dog pose. All right, let's just go right into it. Let's do our plank. All right, lots of variations for plank. You can do it so many different ways. If you're new to planking, what you might want to do, spread your knees a little bit wide, walk your arms a little bit forward, and hinge your weight into your arms. You could hold it right here. If it's too much on your wrists, drop down to your forearms. Fingers spread wide, knees adjust, send them back a bit. Have your elbows under your shoulders and press the weight into your arms. And just feel your belly engage here. You could take a high plank, which is what I'm going to do today. No timer, I'm gonna read you something. All right, and I'll let you know when 30 seconds goes by, but you stay as long as feels right for you. All right, for a high plank, shift your weight forward, shoulders over your wrists, fingers spread wide, legs go long and straight on your mat, feet hip-width distance apart, and breathe. Push the earth away, get into your position of plank, and let's go. All right, here we go. What if I told you that practicing just one pose every day could improve your strength, your physique, your mood, and more? That's right, the almighty plank pose has tons of benefits for your body, and all you need to practice it is yourself, just you got it. Although it may not always be easy, it's sure to provide you with health benefits that can last you a lifetime. Take a break if you need it, you guys. Drop to your knees or send your hips high, you decide. Anytime you drop to your knees, just regroup and then renegade. You can do it. Do it again. Be satisfied. Appreciate what you got. That's about 30 seconds. All right. Plank pose is a strengthening training pose that works all the major abdominal muscles while you also strengthen your shoulders, your chest, your neck, your glutes, your quadriceps, and your back muscles. Also known as an isometric exercise. This pose works to contract all the muscles by solely holding one steady fixed position. When done with proper form and alignment, plank pose is a force to be reckoned with. Finish. Come down to your knees. A force to be reckoned with. And so are you. How'd you do? Plank. So impressive. It really is. And you're impressive too if you do it. Even if you do it 5 seconds. It's wonderful. All right, grab a drink. We'll do our other core poses. Hello to Esther, Stan, Liz, Lori, Lynn, Tammy, Betty, Kelly, Margaret, Marietta, Tina, Louise, Steve. Glad you guys are here. All right. Grab your drink. If you got to do one pose, make it be your plank. Okay, come on down to your bottoms. Grab your strap if you want to use it for boat today. Other days, we don't use it. Maybe on Mondays, you do use it. Maybe you use it every day. All right, bend the soles of your feet. Bend the soles of your feet. Bend your knees. You can't bend the soles of your feet, can you? Bend your knees. Soles of the feet touch. Knees open wide. Hands together in prayer like your feet are. Elbows are wide like your knees are. Lengthen up and then come on back. Take it slowly. Take it nice and slowly. Your core is strong. You got it. Come all the way down to reclined. Bend your elbows, they're already bent. Place your fingers lightly at your temples or behind your ears. Elbows open wide, just like your knees. Adjust your heel distance to your groin. Maybe further away feels more right. Or, bring it up closer. You decide. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, peel your shoulders on up, chin up toward the sky, and then come on down as you inhale. Exhale, up, inhale, down. Lift and lower. Little lifts, little lowers. No pressure here. You do what feels like the right thing to be doing for you today. I'm going to lift my shoulders up even higher, bringing my elbows back even more, and I'm going to pulse my chin, little teeny pulses up to the sky. Being mindful of my knees, staying open, and my elbows too. Little pulses. Little pulses, nothing big. Pulses, oh my goodness, Friday in our Yoga Plus, we did lots of pulses. That's kind of a bar move, kind of just a nice little way to make your practice a little more challenging. How are you doing with these pulses if you're doing them? Let's finish, come on down. Whew, let's do bicycle pose. You keep your fingers right where they are, but bend your knees so your knees meet at the midline of your body. Work them away a little bit so the soles of your feet are on your mat. Lots of ways to do bicycle. Here's one variation. You could keep the soles of your feet here. Exhale, peel your shoulders up. Work opposite elbow toward an opposite knee. There's one way to do it. Another way is to fully recline. Lift the knees up so the knees are over your hips, shins parallel to your mat, and then ride a recumbent bike. Maybe drive through your heels and do your bicycle this way. Add it all together for some extra fun. Peel your shoulders up, continue to pedal through the legs, and bring opposite elbows towards opposite knees. Breathe. Maybe straighten your legs and kick them like they're scissors. Breathe. Maybe bring one heel really close to the earth while the other leg lifts really high to the sky, and do your scissor kick. Let's finish up here. Legs go long on your mat. Arms go high overhead. Stretch it out. Reach. Stick pose. Time for boat pose. Navasana. Maybe you use your strap. To do it with the strap, bring the center of the strap underneath the soles of your feet. Legs are long, hold tightly to the strap, elbows hugged in, lift on up, peel on up, sit on up, and then lean on back like you're in a recliner. Hold here, shoulders squeezed back so your back is flat. You can hold here in your boat pose and just play with the height of your feet from the earth. No strap, no problem. Maybe take your hands behind your knees, lift your legs up, maybe just one leg, maybe just the other. It's all good. Lean back and hold here. Maybe you remove your hands from behind your legs. Oh my gosh, that's hard. And then lift your arms up, 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 and hold. Breathe. Maybe bring them to prayer center. Kind of chill out a little bit. Maybe a little bend in your knees might feel better. Breathe in your boat pose your way. Let's finish. Feet come down. We're done with that. How are you doing? How do your hips feel? Let's take them to a lunge to make them feel even better. All right, so boat pose is intense on the hip flexors, I think. So bring your 2 blocks by your side to a nice high height. Let's do our lunge. Bring your right foot forward, knee over ankle, press into your blocks and send your left leg long. Put the towel under your knee if you like. You can stay right here. You can push your hands into these blocks. Imagine your crown of your head lengthening kind of at a diagonal to the front of the room. Just breathe here and feel the intensity of the stretch in that left hip. Let it go, release it, let it be. So here's another variation. Your back foot, the left foot, tuck the toes under in a dorsiflexion and just press into the ball of your foot. Feel how that feels. Stay here for a little bit. Breathe. As I said, every day our practices are different. We go from restorative to a vinyasa to just a nice little yin yoga practice. So just, if you do them all, they all work together. They're all designed to make you nice and strong. Let's go back to pushing the top of the foot into the mat. Hold it here. Now maybe if you'd like, press on up into those blocks with just your fingertips, bringing your shoulders over your hips. Maybe bring your hands to your hips. Maybe that feels nice. If you'd like, lift your arms up to the sky and look up towards your hands and just hold here. Quite an intense pose, really. Breathe. Little back bend if you want. Then hands back to prayer center in that feeling of gratitude. Remember, use today, use every day to make yourself satisfied with what you got. Breathe. Soften the shoulders. And let's do the other side. Okay, so what you're gonna do, right leg was the one in front. Bring the right knee to meet the left. Left foot comes forward. Use the blocks to press into, to send the right leg long. Top of the right foot presses into your mat. Hold on here. Your left knee is over your left ankle, nice and strong and stable. You can press into these blocks and lengthen your torso at about a 45-degree angle and just hold on here. Lengthen and feel the strength that you are gaining and the flexibility and mobility in this hip. And you know, you might say, oh, it's just not there. It's elusive, right? It's there, but it's elusive. Stick with it. You don't have to do a lot every day. You don't have to come away from your yoga practice thinking, oh my gosh, I just can't do it again. It's just too much. Take it in little steps. All right, the back right foot, tuck the toes under, press the ball of the foot into the mat. See how it changes the feeling in that hip. Maybe you stay right here, or maybe you slowly come up to your fingertips, shoulders back a little bit more, maybe bringing them more over the hips, or not at all. You do. You do you. That's important. Honor your body. That's more important than trying to go into a pretzel pose that isn't meant for you. Breathe. Maybe lift your arms up to the sky and baby back bend, or maybe bring them to prayer center and hold here with a breath of gratitude for what you can do. You know, we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone. Isn't that a truthful saying? So be happy with what you've got, and more goodness will come your way. Breathe. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Maybe come back to hands on your blocks. Maybe bring the top of the foot back onto your mat. Press here, hold here. Feel the goodness in your hips. Big breath in, big breath out. Nice job. Bring your shoulders back more over your hips, using your blocks to come back as well if you like. Come to standing on both knees. Put your hands behind your low back. Like we did earlier in our standing warm-up, press your hands into your low back, squeeze your elbows back and down, and look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, or maybe even right overhead. Chest is lifted. Breathe. Let's do downward facing dog as we come into some standing poses. We've got 6 standing poses today because I really want to focus on our ability to balance. Place your hands on your mat, shoulder width distance apart. Tuck your toes towards your shins in a dorsiflexion. Straighten your legs and press on up to an inverted V shape. This is your downward facing dog. Let's do some little refinements. Your feet, you're looking at them. They should be hip width distance apart. Adjust your stance so your heels are about 4 inches above the earth. Lift your tailbone higher to the sky. Your arms, look at them, look forward. They're shoulder width distance apart. Fingers spread wide to disperse the weight. Tailbone high to the sky, your gaze back to your feet, your ankles, your knees, or even your belly button. Let your head hang heavy. Shake your neck, push into the earth, breathe in this downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is said to be a resting pose. What do you think? Is it resting? Big breath in, big breath out. You're still building strength here in your arms. Start to pedal your feet out. Stretch out the backs of your legs, your hamstrings all the way up into your glutes. The fascia in your feet, your Achilles tendon. Stretch it. Breathe. Shake your neck. Head is heavy. No holding on to tension here. Down dog. Let's finish up. Press your heels more toward the earth. Several breaths. Tailbone high. Arms are strong. Breathe. Walk your feet to meet your hands or your hands to meet your feet. Take this big forward fold. Take your hands behind your calves. Hug your elbows in. Draw your forehead, your gaze towards your knees. Little bend in your knees might make this more accessible. Big breath in. Your belly fills up, so you're going to lengthen. Exhale, hollow out your belly, fold more forward. Release. Inhale, arms sweep on up. Let's come into a standing pose. Let's take You Will Look Taller. Bring your arms down by your sides for just a moment. Let your shoulders relax. Maybe close your eyes. That's a challenge to your balance. You don't want to close your eyes? Don't do it. Take a deep breath in. Lift your arms on up to the sky. Bring your body into the shape of a letter Y. Legs are zipped up. Backs of your hands pressed to the back wall. The big letter Y for the word you. We're going to spell out You Will Look Taller using the first letters of each word. Big letter Y. Chest is lifted, hugging and squeezing the muscles around your spine, your upper back. You. Let's do a W. Bend your elbows, letting the elbows come toward the earth. Arms are like a big letter W for the word will. Press your hands to the back of the room. Let's do 2 L's. Hug your elbows in toward your waist. Forward and backward L. Chest is lifted. Squeeze. Now T for taller. Arms T out. Pulse your hands to the back of the room. You will look taller. Breathe. Eyes are closed, eyes are open. You decide. Let's do it again. A big letter Y. A big letter W. Big letter L and L. And 1 big T. Pulse your hands to the back of the room. One more time. You. Big Y. Spread your fingers wide. Will. Elbows really down. Shoulders relaxed. Big L. Squeeze those elbows in. T for taller. Chest is lifted. Pulse your hands. Now, release your arms down by your sides. Feel the strength in your back. Feel your shoulders over your hips. Head is really, get your head on right. Head is over your shoulders. Ears are back. Chin slightly tucked. Arms relaxed. Palms slightly forward. Great, fantastic posture you have. That's your You Will Look Taller pose. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Settle your feet comfortably into your mat. Let's do a banana asana pose that's standing that goes by the name half crescent moon. Lift your arms up to the sky. Think Tadasana. Palms together to touch. Cross one thumb over the other. Lengthen through your fingers. Stay rooted in both feet. And then let these arms work to the left side of your room. Arms work. Fingers are reaching to the top left corner of your room. Bring your top right shoulder back. Bring your chin back as well. Chin away from the chest. Breathe. Big stretch up your left side or your right side. Breathe. Breathe here. Hold here. You've got it. Feet are equally planted in the mat. They're not going anywhere. Hips are equidistant to the front of your room. Breathe. Now the bottom hand, the left hand, maybe you capture the upper hand, the right wrist, and pull it. Just pull it and see how that intensifies the pose. If it's better, enjoy it. If it's not better, go back to the way it was. Breathe. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Palms touch again. And really slowly, be careful, bring it on back up. Lengthen up through your fingers. Reroot into your feet. Let's do half crescent moon on the other side. So you're going to work these fingers, really reach them to the sky. Work them to the right side of your room. Eyes can be opened or closed. Soften in your glutes. Feet are relaxed equally into the mat. Top shoulder, left shoulder is back. Chin away from your chest. Stretch it out. Breathe it out. Maybe the bottom hand captures the left wrist and gives it a pull. Breathe. Bring the palms back to touch. Slowly rise on back up to the center. Lengthen up. Palms are touching. Shoulders soften as you exhale. Bring your hands to a prayer center position. Good place to be. Always a good place to be. Eyes are closed. This is called a Samastitihi pose. Just think for a moment. Reflect on the goodness within. Reflect on how you're going to use today, how you're going to use every day, how you're going to be satisfied with what you have been given. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's do tree. Hands are already in the right spot. Blink your eyes open. Root into one foot or the other. Bend the other knee. open that knee up to the side of the room. Place the sole of that elevated foot inside the extended, rooted foundational leg. Place the foot wherever feels right onto the leg, but just don't put it on the knee. You'll figure that one out. The knee isn't meant to bend sideways, and it doesn't feel so good. Press the foot into the leg and the leg back into the foot. Hips again are equidistant to the front of your room. Shoulders are too. And then lift your arms on up into a tree pose. Sway in the breeze. That's how trees survive. They sway in the breeze, but they stay strongly rooted, like you. Gaze up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Find your focus. Maybe try to take a long blink and close your eyes just a little bit. You could always have a chair here for balance. Just make it work for you. All right, hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Let that foot meet the other on the mat. Take it to the other side. Root into the newly founded foundational leg. Take the weight out of the other. Open up that knee to the side of the room. Maybe you kickstand the toes. That's totally fine. Maybe send the leg on up and press the foot into the foundational leg. Lengthen up through your hips. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Hold here, maybe with the chair or without. Maybe grow your branches. These are all maybes, lots of variations. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Sway your branches if you like, or keep them steady like you did in your You Will Look Taller pose. Eyes, take a nice blink. And if you fall out, get right back in, no big deal. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Left foot meets right on your mat. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's do toppling tree. This is a bit of a challenge. Let's see. It's going to get into our shoulders too. All right, so take a big step out with your right foot. All 10 toes are pointing forward. Hinge the weight more forward into your right leg, kind of like when you do a plank and you hinge your weight into your arms. Put a little bend in your foundational right knee. Lift your arms on, or lift your left leg on up, up, up a little bit or a lot. Take your hands out of that prayer position. Interlace your fingers behind your low back. Send the interlaced fingers up the back wall and send your left leg up too. Your gaze is down towards your right toes, maybe towards your ankle, maybe towards your knees. Work your hands higher, work your leg higher in your toppling tree. Let's finish. Left foot meets right. Keep your hands where they are. Step back with your right foot, and we'll do the other side. So your left leg is now forward. Hinge forward, the weight into your left leg, little bend in your left knee. Work the right leg up. Work the interlaced fingers away from your back. Hinge forward, look down to your left toes. Look to your ankle, to your knee. Fingers are lifted up toward the sky. Leg lifts higher if you like. And then finish. Right leg meets left. Hands back to prayer center. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Got your heart rate going, right? It's all good. Big breath in, big breath out. Let's work on those quads, big muscles in the fronts of your legs. Bend your knees like you're going to sit back into a little elf chair. How's that? All right, so distance between your feet. Feet should be like under your hips. Sit a little bit lower. Sit a little bit lower. This is your chair pose. Add in the arms if you like and reach forward. You could have your hands on your thighs. You could have your hands on your waist. You decide how you want to take this. Tomorrow we'll do some chair pose, Utkatasana. Breathe. Lengthen here. Hold on. You got it. Breathe. Take your hands, interlace them again behind your low back. Maybe it's a little easier this time. Pop on up to the balls of your feet. Sink your bottom a little bit lower. Interlaced fingers, work them up the back wall again. Breathe. Now try to take your gaze forward. Take your gaze more forward as you come into a drinking bird. Maybe hips go lower and hold. Let's finish. Feet come down. Hands to prayer center. Fold forward just for a second. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Sweep your arms on up. Come on back to your extended mountain pose. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Soften in your shoulders. Come up onto your toes and down on the soles of your feet. Lift and lower. Maybe hands can be on your hips. Breathe. So pop on up to the balls of your feet. How do your ankles feel? How do your feet feel? We've done a lot with them today. It's all good. All right. Hands to prayer center. Forward fold. Walk your hands down to your mat. come on down to your knees, and then come on down to your bellies. All right, so we're going to do some poses for your spine, for strengthening your spine. You will look taller, really strengthen them from a standing position. Let's come down to our bellies. You know these. Let's come on down. And on your belly, hands underneath your collarbones. Legs are long. Press the tops of your feet into your dog or into your mat. Squeeze your elbows back towards your spine. Chin, nose down toward the mat. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Even now, when you press the tops of your feet into your mat, you feel strengthening in the low back. Lift on up as you inhale through the chest. Gaze down your nose. Fingers can be spread wide. Keep the tops of your feet on your mat and hold here. Lengthen through your spine and breathe. Now, you can pop on up to your fingertips. Lift a little higher maybe. Pressing the tops of your feet into your mat. Or lift the weight out of your hands completely. Breathe. Hold it. You got it. And then come on down. Send your arms long and reach on your mat forward. Let's do Superman. Another spine strengthener. Now your legs, you can spread them a little bit towards the bottoms of your mat, towards the bottom edges of your mat. Head is down on your mat. Breathe here and lift one leg, then lift the other. Maybe that's where you are. Maybe that's where you stay. Lifting one leg, then the other, as you build strength in your low back. Maybe you lift up both legs and balance on your pelvis a bit. And maybe you do an arm, then the other arm, or all four arms, both arms, all four limbs. Reach here, gaze down your nose, lengthen in your Superman flying pose, hold. Sweep your arms back, nice and long, palms face down. Reach your fingers more toward the bottom edges of your mat. Breathe, look down your nose, stay strong, because you are. Reach forward, Superman again. Reach the arms back and fly. Breathe, lift like an airplane, you got it. Hands come underneath your collarbones, legs come down. Press on up through straightened arms to a seal pose. Soften your glutes. Press on up to a standing on your knees pose. You're standing on your knees. Bring your hands to your low back and shoulders over your hips. Press your chest forward. Press your hips forward. Squeeze your elbows back. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, or look overhead. Little back bend. Chest is lifted. Is it easier now than when you began? Yes, it is. All right, shoulders over your hips. Let's come on down to seated. Legs go long on your mat. Legs are long, toes drawn up toward your shins. You could use a strap here if you want to make your arms longer. You could also use your towel if you don't have a strap. You're going to bring the strap or the towel underneath the soles of your feet. If you don't want to use either of those props, you can take your hands, reach toward your toes. Reach towards your ankles, your calves, whatever you got. But try to keep your chest forward and your gaze forward here for a moment or two. Big breath in, big breath out. If you have nothing in your hands, maybe reach your arms forward. Reach through your fingertips. Think of little magnets in your fingers, reaching even more forward to that front of your room. Hollow out your belly. You can get more reach. If you got the towel or the strap, pull on it. All right, let's take our hands down to our ankles or hold on to that strap. Hug your elbows in towards your knees and fold forward here, bringing your gaze toward your knees. Inhale, find length. You're going to pull away because your belly's going to fill up. Exhale, squeeze the air out and fold more forward. Another big breath in and big breath out. And then finish. Come on up. We're going to come down onto our mats. Bring your eye shade and your towel up by your shoulders. Bring your strap there too. Let's do a reclined figure 4. All right, I'm going to grab a drink of water to recline, like how we came down to do our core poses. Take it nice and slowly. Every little opportunity you have to work that core, why not, right? All right, this time knees are bent, soles of the feet are on the ground, hands are in prayer. Maybe hang out here for a moment or two. Chest is lifted, back is straight, hold on. Core is strong, you got it. Maybe bring it back a little further and hold. Maybe bring it all the way down to your mat. Reclined figure 4. Bend your left knee and have the sole of your left foot on the mat. Lift your right leg up. Bring the outside of your right ankle onto that bent knee. So your legs kind of look like a figure 4. Hold it right here. Outside of the right knee, drive it toward the bottom of your mat. Breathe. You can use your towel again or your strap again if you want to use it to like make your arms longer. So here's what I mean by that. All right, I'll use the towel. So lift your left leg up off of the mat. Lift your left leg up off of the mat and use the left leg as leverage to draw the right leg more in toward your chest. Here's where you can use the towel. You could bring the towel between your legs and then bring the towel behind your left knee, hugging on to both ends of the towel and hug in the knee. If you don't want to use the towel, your interlaced fingers come in handy here. Interlace your fingers behind your left knee and hug it in. Be mindful of your shoulders for a moment or two. Just let them relax as you hug this knee in. So you're working those big glute muscles in your backside. Breathe. So all the while, hugging this left knee in even more and driving the outside of the right knee toward the bottom of your mat. You can interlace your fingers now beneath your knee in the front and hug it in even more intensely here. Now draw your right leg. Draw your right toes in a dorsiflexion, drawing the right toes toward your right shin. Ooh, you feel it in your glutes. So relax that foot again. Think about your right glutes and then draw your toes towards your shin and just feel it intensify there. Maybe one more time. Relax the foot, relax the shoulders, then draw the right toes toward the shin. Hold it here. So this right foot is now nice and flat. You're going to think of sending this right foot to the left side of your room 4 inches. And when you're ready, do it. And then just feel the little shift in the muscles in your backside. Squeeze and hug the knee in. Breathe, hold. You got it. Bring the left foot down, bring the right foot down to meet it. All right, how does that feel? I think that's a pose that feels really, really good. You take it to what feels right for you. All right, let's do the other side. Right foot is on the mat, left leg lifts, left ankle, the outside of it goes on top of the right shin. Maybe you take your hands and just press this inner left thigh open and stay right here. Give yourself permission to do that. You don't have to go any farther. If you want to give yourself permission to go farther, here's what you can do. Right foot lifts up off the ground. Right knee draws more toward your chest. You can stay right here. Hands or towel can go under the right knee and you hug it in. And don't forget that left knee, send it more toward the bottom of your mat. Shoulders are relaxed. It's pretty intense here. Breathe, breathe through it. Soften, soften. You got it. Don't stress out. If your teeth or your jaws are clenched, let them relax. Hug it in. Mobility, flexibility, you're getting it. All right, your hand, here's another thing you can do. You can keep it right where you've got it. Or you can interlace your fingers beneath the right knee. A little more intense. Hug it in. Drive the outside of the left knee away. Breathe through it. And that last little part, refinement of this pose, so you can feel that little teeny piriformis muscle underneath all those big glute muscles. Here's how you do that. Draw your toes towards your shins. Hug it in, squeeze it in. Feel what you feel, then relax the foot. Left toes, draw the toes toward the shin. Feel what you feel in your backside. Maybe hug the right knee in. Relax the foot. And again, tighten up that foot. toes toward the shin. Hug the knee in. You've got it going on. This left foot is now nice and flat toward the right side of your room. Hold it here. Squeeze it in. Let the left foot move about 4 inches to the right. And feel the muscles in your backside. Fire. Breathe. Right foot down, left foot down. You got it. Send your hips high into a bridge pose. This will feel nice in the front of your hips after doing that little different variation of our lunge today. Walk your heels maybe up closer to your bottom. Lift your hips up even higher. Arms down by your sides. Press into your mat. Shoulder blades, wiggle them so they're more under your back, closer to your spine. Hips are lifted. Breathe. Press your palms into your mat. Maybe interlace your fingers again. We've done that a lot today. Press your pinkies into the mat. Breathe. You've got it going on in your bridge pose. Strong legs, strong bottom. You got it. Let's finish. Arms down by your sides. Roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. A supine twist would feel mighty grand. Send your left leg long. Right knee is bent. Hug it in using interlaced fingers under the right knee, or use your towel. That's okay too. Left leg is long. Left heel is driving toward the bottom of your mat. Hug your right knee in. Your arms are strong. You did lots of planks. Hold on. Left hand now guides the right knee across the midline of your body as you roll onto your left hip. Keep your right shoulder down. Let your left hand work the knee more toward the earth. Doesn't have to go really far, but let it feel good. Right shoulder stays down though, and then tee out your right arm to help you keep that shoulder down. Look to the right. Nice big twist here. You feel like a washcloth. Breathe. Twist it out. Good for digestion, good for elimination. So good for strengthening your low back. Finish up. Right hip comes down. Knee and gaze go up toward the sky. Interlaced fingers hug this right knee in because you can, and your hips are mobile and strong and flexible and all that good stuff that you've always wanted to be. Release your right leg long. Drive the right heel toward the bottom of the mat. Left knee now bends, and we're going to do this side. Same thing, other side. Interlace fingers, hug under the knee. Hug it in, squeeze it in, pull it in. Your half pigeon helps you do this. Your half pigeon helps you get stronger in this. And this helps you be more flexible in your half pigeon, which we'll do tomorrow. So come check us out. Right hand guides the left knee across the midline of the body. Roll onto the right hip. Right hand encourages the knee toward the earth. Doesn't have to touch. Left shoulder stays down on your mat. Maybe your gaze stays up to the sky. Or maybe you try to turn your head a little to the left as your left arm tees out. Breathe. Enjoy what you feel. Finish up. Gaze and hip. Gaze goes up, hip comes down. Interlaced fingers hug under the knee. Squeeze and hug the left knee in. Breathe. Left leg goes long. Bend both knees. Drag the knee heels on. Up, 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 up. And then lift the legs on up, bringing both knees closer to your chest. Left hand captures under left knee. Right hand under right knee. Happy baby pose. Ananda Balasana. Maybe you hold right here and move a little bit from side to side. As you do that, it's a nice low back massage, isn't it? And wouldn't a tennis ball feel nice underneath your low back? Even a rolled up towel under there feels nice. Try it. Try it next time. See what you think. All right, come back to the center. Tailbone is down on your mat. Left knee, hug it toward your left armpit. Right knee, hug it toward your right armpit. A real attractive pose in which to be, but you're home. Nobody cares. Nobody's seeing you. Circle your ankles in one direction. Circle them in the other direction. Take your hands, capture inside your thighs, and rock back and forth. Or maybe even capture your heels. Bring your shoulders back down and send one leg up toward the sky and then the other. So one knee is bent, one leg extends. Happy baby pose. Remember doing this many years ago? All right, breathe. That's your happy baby. Be happy. You got it. All right, extend both legs high to the sky. Maybe you're holding onto your heels or your calves. Open up your legs nice and wide in a big letter V shape, letting the pinky toes work toward the earth. and then finish. Release your hands, bring the knees back to meet at the midline, bend your knees, soles of your feet down on your mat. It's time for final Shavasana pose. All right, you've got your eye shade or your towel nearby. Legs go long. Oh, it feels good in the hip flexors. We did a lot of balancing today, a lot for the hips and a lot for the feet. So it was a good practice for mobility and flexibility. Eye shade, cover your eyes, or use your towel to cover your eyes. I know some of you like to take the towel and place it under the back of your neck, that little like mouse hole area behind the neck. Maybe you do that. Arms long down by your sides. Spread them out a little bit. Just get comfortable. That's the big thing. Find lots of contact with the earth. Wiggle your shoulders. Get them planted. Kind of tuck them under. Heels at the bottom of your mat. This is your moment. This is your time to breathe and let the brain remember the mobility and flexibility, the movements that you did in this last hour. Let it record it and let it create that new norm for your flexibility. Pinky toes fall toward the earth. Hips are open. Breath is deep. Area between the eyebrows is soft. Don't hold on there. Eyes are heavy in their eye sockets. Let the exhale be a total emptying of your lungs and your belly, so you feel just a total deflation. Everything is released. Allow your inhales to build you up, to puff up your chest, to strengthen you, to refresh you. And then again, let it all go. Take a deep breath in, and a big sighing breath out, let it go. If you've got longer and want to stay here, go right ahead. Enjoy your breath. Time to conclude. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and your wrists and your ankles. Just move them. On an inhale, reach high up overhead and take a big good morning stretch like you do before you even get out of bed in the morning. Stretch. As you exhale, bend your knees and your elbows and roll over onto one side or the other for your fetal position. Low arms bicep is a pillow for your head. Top shoulder is soft. Eyes are closed. Savor this moment. Big breath in and big breath out. Slowly, with or without your hands, press on up to a comfortable seated position. Crisscross your legs or however you like, whatever feels good. Bring your hands to a prayer center position. Lengthen up through your spine as you take a big inhale. And soften up in your shoulders as you take your big exhale. Let it all go. Blink your eyes open. You did it. You did it. Stress number. What was it when you began? And more importantly, most importantly, what is it now? I bet it's a lot lower, and that's a really good thing. But you know what's higher? The mobility in your knees, the mobility in your shoulders, the strength in your ankles, and just the confidence that you have in your body. And that's really important too. You know, sometimes the smallest steps in the right direction end up being the biggest steps of your life. So press on, my friends. Have a great day, and I'll see you on your mats tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace, joy, love, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, all that good stuff. Let it be in you. All right, here we go. The dogs are here. Life is good. Bye. See you tomorrow. Good girls. Good girls. Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Piper. How do you know? How do you know? Shiny and bright. It's that time of year, and you feel shiny and bright because you do your yoga. From your deer pose to your child's pose, it's all good, and you know that it's doing good for your body. Tell your friends about our yoga. They can watch us on Facebook, they can watch us on YouTube, and it is free. It is free for anybody and everybody. All they have to do is join. All they have to do is show up from the privacy of their own home. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. See you on your mats tomorrow and each and every day during this busy, most wonderful time of year.